What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when your boy has done Atlanta Falcons content. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to tune into the channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys who helped us get to 1,000 subscribers today on Atlanta Falcons Nation. Also for helping me reach my milestone of 1,000 subscribers last week here on my channel at Jew Talk Sports. We really appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to share all our content, continuing to tune into the channels. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first off, in Atlanta Falcons news, today, news broke that we did re-sign Steven Means, defensive end for our Atlanta Falcons. We also signed Jonathan Bullard. He's actually a defensive tackle / defensive end, formerly of the Chicago Bears. And yet again, this is depth signings by Terry Fontenot, our new GM. He's done a great job so far at bringing in guys on these one-year deals to fill the roster, our Atlanta Falcons roster. And you guys, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I believe in strength in numbers when it comes to rushing the passer and stopping the run. You need as many fresh bodies, active bodies as you can in the trenches. Due to football being a very violent sport, guys are going to get injured. It's just bound to happen. So we definitely need as many bodies as possible, young bodies. I feel like they're doing a good job of bringing in youth on this Atlanta Falcons team. We don't have as many old players or veteran players on this roster. Most of our guys are under the age of 30, which is good news. We have a lot of young guys that we brought in, like Marlon Davidson, John Kaminsky. Steven Means, I believe, is like 31 years old, so he'll be like the veteran on our roster. But we have a lot of young guys. Grady Jarrett, who's still in his prime. Dante Fowler, he's still under the age of 30. So I think we've done a great job of bringing in youth on this Atlanta Falcons team. I really like what we've done so far in free agency. Terry Fontenot is doing, like I said, an excellent job at building this roster. And like I said, bringing in guys that can fill roles. I do believe Steven Means is a glue guy for this Atlanta Falcons team. He's been on our roster for the last 3 years. Steven Means goes about 6'3", 265 pounds. Last season, he had 3 sacks on the season, 11 starts, and 14 quarterback hits. He was a pretty solid player for us last year. He actually carved out a bigger role last year than we all expected coming into the 2020 season due to Tat McKinley being injured and then being cut due to his antics off the field. Guys like Steven Means and Jacob Tuioti-Mariner basically were like the next man up type deal. And those guys filled in pretty well. Like I said, Steven Means isn't a guy that you necessarily want as a starter, but he is a solid veteran player, great in the locker room, great in the community, in that Atlanta Falcons community or in the Atlanta community. If you remember last season, Steven Means was nominated or was a nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. He didn't end up winning the award, but he was the player that was one of the players that was elected for our Atlanta Falcons. And he's one of those guys that does a lot in the community. Like from what I hear, he's one of the best players or one of the leaders when it comes to being a glue guy in the locker room, somebody that talks about, social justice and things of that nature, somebody that is one of those veterans in the locker room that everybody pretty much gets along with. And I do like this signing of Steven Means coming back. Like I said, Steven Means is not a guy that's going to give you 10 sacks in a season, but he is a guy that you can use in rotation that can give you 3 to 6 sacks on a season. And I do believe if we can bring in, guys that we can get 3 to 6 sacks out of for the season, and you rotate those guys in and out, you can have a team with 40 plus sacks on the season if you can get multiple guys that can chip in, and we're not relying just on one guy like Dante Fowler or a guy like Grady Jarrett to get us 10 to 15 sacks on a year. I really think that Stephen Means, Jacob Tuioti Mariner, these guys are going to be the grinders, the glue guys on the team that's going to come in and play a role, be guys you can bring in and rotate in to keep guys like Dante Fowler fresh, guys like Grady Jarrett fresh. So I really like the signing of Stephen Means. I really think that this is a big move for our Atlanta Falcons. We also brought in Jonathan Bullard. I think Jonathan Bullard is a solid signing as well, coming over from the Chicago Bears. Jonathan Bullard goes about 6'3", 300 pounds. He's the guy that can play on the inside and the outside. He's a nose tackle or defensive tackle / defensive end. He's played both roles. He's played for the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of have been a journeyman so far in the league. But I don't know a whole lot about this kid, Jonathan Bullard, but I do think he's another rotational guy that we can use and mix in with some of the guys that we have, being that the Falcons don't have a ton of money in free agency. We weren't able to bring in, the splash players, but I think that this kid, Jonathan Bullard, could be somebody that we use in rotation, maybe at the 3 tech or at the defensive end position, depending on if we're doing a 4-3 front or a 3-4 front, because we're going to be multifaceted and run a bunch of different styles here with a guy like Dean Pease that likes to run exotic fronts in the front 7. I really could see us doing a lot of different things based off of the players that we brought in, like Barkevious Mingo, who's a guy that can play like on the outside at the outside linebacker position as a pass rusher. A guy like Dante Fowler, who can also, put his hand in the dirt, but he's mainly a player that's best off as an outside linebacker in that 2-point stance. Guys like Jacob Tuioti Mariner, who's a guy that can play in the 2-point stance or with his hand in the dirt, because he's a guy that's bigger at that. He's about 6'3", 6'4", 270 pounds with Jacob Tuioti Mariner. So he's a guy that can go in the 2-point stance and rush the passer or put his hand in the dirt. Then you have guys like Marlon Davison, who's a bigger guy that you can play on the inside and the outside as well. So we have a lot of guys that are multifaceted on this defense. And I see Dean Pease using these guys in a lot of different ways. A guy like Brandon Copeland, who we also signed from the Jets. He's a guy that's an outside linebacker as well, who can pass rush in that 2-point stance or drop back into coverage and things of that nature. So we got multiple guys that we've signed. And I really think that Terry Fontenot has done a great job of bringing in guys that can do multiple things, not just do one thing. So I really think that we brought in a lot of role players, guys that are going to be glue guys. And that's what I see from this kid, Jonathan Bullard. I think he's going to be a guy that comes in and be a depth piece if someone goes down with injury, or if someone needs to come out of the game to catch their breath, like a Grady Jarrett, like a Dante Fowler and these guys, Marlon Davison. You have multiple guys that you can do line shifts. So I really think we've done a great job so far of bringing in young players, guys that can come in and play a particular role in this Dean Pease scheme. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think of the signings of Jonathan Bullard. What do you think about bringing a guy like Stephen Means back? Do you like these signings? Personally, I think these are really solid signings because we still have the draft to go. But for the veteran guys that we brought in, of course, Dean Pease and Arthur Smith have watched the tape on these guys from last year and the last couple seasons, and they must have seen something that they liked in a guy like Stephen Means. He did play all 16 games last year, and he was a pretty good player in the next man up situation. So with that being said, this been your boy Jew. If you enjoy my content, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're on the road or the quest to 2,000, but I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to tune in. But with that being said, you guys definitely drop those, hit that like button. Definitely drop your comments below. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Also, the draft is coming up, fastly approaching. So I'm definitely getting excited at the end of this month. We will have the draft in about 3 weeks. So I'm super excited to see what we do in the draft. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.